What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and we've got an interesting story here, folks. It sounds like the past few years of video games being lousy with wokeness are largely the result of intentional attempts at mind control.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
I know, you're shocked, but the timing of what we are going to look at is noteworthy. We've got a series of articles resurfacing right now from 2019 to 2022 admitting that governmental agencies are using games to propagandize people. That's roughly the time frame that Sweet Baby Inc. got its start, being, of course, just one of the consultancy firms that are paid to ruin video games for normal people who don't want to be propagandized. It seems there was a coordinated push starting about 5 years ago or so by very powerful people to fill our hobby with woke shit that nobody asked for. This is why Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 is so despised. It's why Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League story failed so miserably. It's why folks suspect that GTA 6 is gonna suck too. Game developers these days spend less effort making games fun. Their efforts instead go into nudging us to do things that their overlords want. But unfortunately for these jackasses, many gamers aren't the sort who capitulate blindly to propaganda.
Credits will do fine.
No, they won't.
Credits will do fine.
No, they won't. I'm a gamer. My trick's gonna work on me.
Alright, me hearties, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. But let's take a look at our interesting discovery today. This series of articles laying out the intentional propaganda was assembled by journalist James Lindsay on Twitter. He quoted the article he linked, saying the aim was to shape the behavior of the 2.7 billion strong global gaming community using Harvard's nudge theory. This particular article was published in September of 2020 by Footprint Mag, Green Nudges for Gamers. Can video games really encourage sustainable behavior?
I hate this.
When players of EA Games' long-running title The Sims downloaded the latest expansion pack, their simulated worlds were given an eco-conscious upgrade. The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle allows gamers to move their characters into ripe for regeneration neighborhoods, switching consumption-heavy lifestyles for a reduce, reuse, recycle mantra and offering virtual efforts to improve the pixelated environment. But why was one of the world's best-selling video game series promoting a greener lifestyle? I know. It's because the people making the game are no longer interested in making a game. They think they're so much better than everyone else and that they know the one true way to live, so they're arrogantly pushing their way of life onto others when the other people just want to play a damn game. Is that it? Anyhow, it goes on. Last September, 21 influential games industry companies, including Microsoft, Google, and Sony Entertainment, signed on to the UN Environment Playing for the Planet program, promising, alongside reducing emissions, to help gamers make meaningful change of their own through in-game green nudges. The aim was to shape the behavior of the 2.7 billion strong global gaming community by normalizing eco-consciousness. They admit it right there. This shit is propaganda. These wokesters always try to claim that, no, you're wrong, you're full of shit, there is no propaganda in games, you just don't like diversity, or whatever the hell they're trying to argue is the only thing they're putting into games. But this says it all. It's right out there in the open. They're saying it out loud. This was always propaganda. And in the next few paragraphs, they lay out the foundation for their thinking, which doesn't even work, by the way. This is a discredited study, but so are most of the things that they push. The article says, nudge theory. Nudging is a term used to describe changing the architecture of our choices to influence how we act. Behavioral scientists use it to encourage certain actions or thoughts without using direct commands. In practice, this can be as simple as reducing the number of choices that someone is presented with, such as in a 2008 study where consumers were found more likely to pick renewable energy providers when they were the default option.
Oh, that pisses me off. That pisses me right off.
Do you get it now? They are purposely removing things that we like in favor of things that they like, in order for us to accept it. Now, those who argue against us, these woke morons, are one of two kinds of people. The soft-headed fools who already fell for this propaganda, think of them as zombies, and then there's the ones who benefit from the propaganda. Think of them as zombie masters. I also refer to them as the arms dealers in the culture war, in the same way that we collectively despise arms dealers who try to start war in real life so they can profit from it. Arms dealers in the culture war try to perpetuate conflict so they can profit. Sweet Baby is a prime example of this, though they are clearly not the only ones. But yeah, this is why they won't give us another badass Batman Arkham game. Instead, we get to see Batman killed unceremoniously by the likes of Harley Quinn. They want to remove choices from us. They are nudging us. But James Lindsay wasn't done. He listed more articles proving this mentality is pervasive in the game community. He wrote, "Oh, the UN is behind this nudging, and it's because video games are the biggest entertainment sector and are intrinsically training players." And then he linked this article. This is direct from the United Nations, Video Games for Climate Action, Winning Solutions for the Planet.
Go away.
The article was published in May of 2022. It says, from climate and environment themed video games to special features, pop-ups, and real-life tree planting opportunities embedded within beloved classics like Pac-Man or Angry Birds, the gaming industry is working with the United Nations to engage audiences like never before and inspire a new wave of climate action. That summarizes it all right there. The next time one of these woke jackasses wants to argue with you about whether or not this stuff is actual propaganda, I recommend you save the link to these websites, which will be in the description, and show them. But we aren't done quite yet. James Lindsay had one more link to share. As he says, look who else is in on this manipulation, the World Economic Forum. This article comes to us from all the way back in 2019, and its headline says, video games are transforming how we communicate with each other, and they could fix a range of other global issues too. Unlike most other entertainment platforms, video games can connect people of all backgrounds and beliefs. When people engage in play of any kind, they are asked to take on a perspective that might be unfamiliar to them. Video games now provide the platform for this authentic, collaborative play that broadens perspectives and builds new communities by connecting people who may otherwise have never met. Of course, these snakes in the grass look at something like video games and naturally try to use them as a weapon against us. The trouble they have is they know how unpopular their ideas are on a broad level, so they have to hide their garbage in stuff like video games and movies. They couch their language in things that people actually like, and what they really want to do is affect the young and the weak-minded. Always remember this, folks. It's not about being right. It's about convincing others that you're right so you can shape the world and take power. This is especially interesting considering the likes of this recent article from The Hill, where they talk about regulating games alongside social media platforms. For the record, I don't like the idea of regulation at all. I want people to speak their minds. Even if someone says something I despise, I want to hear it. I want to know that that person is, in fact, a piece of shit. But the point is, this is an election year, and they are coming after gamers in a big way now because they need a boogeyman. And it seems they've been planning this kind of crap for a while. As I said earlier, this is why games like Suicide Squad and Spider-Man and Last of Us 2 are such crap. And it's why many of us are scared that GTA 6 will be awful as well. These people are pushing a message and making gaming a secondary thing because they want power. They want to social engineer. But I want to backtrack just a bit to that first article we looked at because I'd like to point out where their miscalculations come from. I want to go to where it says the aim was to shape the behavior of the 2.7 billion strong global gaming community. This is where they went wrong. The problem is that of these 2.7 billion people who supposedly play games, how many of them do more than download a solitary app on their phone or download Angry Birds or something for their toddler to play in order to keep them quiet? A Google search, a quick search, suggests that nearly 80% are mobile gamers and little more than 40% are PC and console. And now, how many of those console and PC gamers, actual gamers, are stubborn a-holes like you and I, the sort who won't put up with this sort of propaganda? If the reaction by the media to Gamergate 2 is anything to judge this by, then it's actually fairly sizable. There's damn near 300,000 people already connected to Sweet Baby Inc. detected. And I'll say this. Anytime you want to feel despair, like we don't have a way out of this, like we can't win, just remember, they wouldn't push back so hard if we didn't matter. If the economics of this was so inconsequential, if it was no big deal, if games failed, then games journalists and their overlords would just ignore us. They wouldn't give a shit about Sweet Baby Inc. detected. Instead, they turned this into a massive online conflict. Keep that in mind in order to stay positive. But I will leave it there. What do you make of all these unearthed articles which have world leaders flat out admitting to their propaganda? How do you feel about spending your money thinking you're going to get a sweet game, but instead you get the opportunity to be indoctrinated? Drop your thoughts down below and we will chat there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of